As you've heard, my father passed away this week. I spoke about it earlier. That's why I missed votes on Monday and Tuesday. I was visiting with my family and getting the funeral arrangements set in place. And I flew back here to Washington to make it in for the votes that I could, but I had to fly out again to go to the visitation and the funeral. So there are some votes that I did miss on Thursday. One of those votes was Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna's resolution holding Merrick Garland in inherent contempt of Congress. Hey everybody, I hope that you're all doing great this week. Now, as always, I'm here with an update on what's happened in Washington. Let's get started with all of it. I would say this, aliens are real, but they're not coming here on spaceships. They're coming across the Rio Grande, and Democrats, they want to let them vote in our elections. That is a fact. That's why this week, House Republicans, we passed a bill, we call it the SAVE Act, which requires individuals to provide proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. That is important. At the moment, it's already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. Common sense to pretty much everybody across America, but liberal states like Vermont, Maryland, California, they are allowing illegal immigrants to register and vote in local elections. These states don't have voter ID laws either. Now, you might be asking yourself how that makes sense. If you're not required to show an ID to vote in either federal or local elections, what is to stop illegal aliens from voting in federal elections? Well, officially, it's the governments of those blue states that's supposed to do that. But I would ask this to both sides of the aisle. Do any of you trust that the governor of Massachusetts or California, who has expressed support for open borders, sanctuary cities, to actually block illegal aliens from voting for the next president of the United States of America? I certainly don't. Not for 1 second do I trust them. In fact, I think they want to encourage that these illegal immigrants vote in the United States federal and local elections, obviously local elections. Remember, these are the same governors who have said that President Donald Trump is an existential threat to democracy, can't be allowed to return to the White House. This is why Joe Biden hasn't done anything about the catastrophic crisis happening at our southern border. Joe Biden and Democrats are importing their electorate as we speak. Without election integrity, we do not have a country. Without a border, we do not have a country. Democrats are destroying both of them, and I will keep fighting to stop them. I want to switch gears to this. This week, the House Foreign Affairs Committee, we marked up a bill mandating that the State Department do everything that it can to recoup the millions of dollars, your dollars, that were sent to UNRWA before October 7th. This was a bill that I put forward. We've been working on it for a number of months. Now, everybody knows how terrible UNRWA is, and that's why my bill is bipartisan. It's got support from Democrat Congressman Josh Gottheimer, Jared Moskowitz. Yet despite UNRWA's crimes being made public, there are still some House Democrats who would prefer to take a page out of Joe Biden's book and disassociate from reality. Now, unlike Joe Biden, that we know of, they're not suffering the same kind of cognitive decline. They're just willfully ignoring anything that doesn't fit into their narrative, that Palestinians are victims in this war is what they want to put forward, instead of they started this war, they started a genocide, and now this war is what's taking place. One Democrat went a step further by actually claiming that UNRWA was doing God's work. She said it numerous times.
We're talking about a handful of people, an organization that serves millions of people. I wish we would stop punishing those who are doing God's work in the most ungodly of places. They are doing God's work. They are doing God's work. I don't know how they do it, especially as they describe, they don't have the funds. They don't have the trucks coming in.
Think about that. This congresswoman said that with a straight face, UNRWA was doing God's work, that it's God's work to indoctrinate Palestinian children with hate for Jews. I don't think that's the case. Is it God's work to take innocent people hostage or launch rockets at school buses or cities or cafes or malls or any innocent people they can find? I don't think that's the case. Is it God's work to rape, slaughter women, children, anybody that they can find? I don't think that that's the case. And I asked all of these questions, but my Democrat colleagues were not willing to answer them. One of them even said that they were not interested in answering those questions. So that goes to show you just how systemic the problems are. There's something absolutely wrong with our government if a member of the U.S. House of Representatives is not interested in knowing about where your tax dollars are going abroad, don't want to ask the questions, don't want to have answers to the questions. They are derelict in their work, derelict from their job. I want to switch gears one more time here. As you've heard, my father passed away this week. I spoke about it earlier. That's why I missed votes on Monday and Tuesday. I was visiting with my family and getting the funeral arrangements set in place. And I flew back here to Washington to make it in for the votes that I could, but I had to fly out again to go to the visitation and the funeral. So there are some votes that I did miss on Thursday. One of those votes was Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna's resolution holding Merrick Garlick in inherent contempt of Congress. I 100% support this effort. I voted for a number of things in favor of bringing it to the floor. There are some preemptive votes that you have to take in order to get that actual vote passed. It was a very close vote, and I voted for those things as well, but was unable to make it to the actual vote for that because I had to return for that funeral. In fact, last month I was proud to vote to hold Attorney General in contempt of Congress for refusing to hand over tapes of Joe Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. I don't want to say that I was proud to vote for that. I'm sad that we had to vote for such a thing, but I was proud to actually take that vote for justice within the United States of America. It is sad that these votes have to take place. With that vote, we referred Garland for prosecution, but the Justice Department, as you could have predicted, has refused to take action even as it's gone out of its way to target former Trump officials on similar charges. Now just think about that. We already know that Biden is mentally missing in action, but how bad can this tape be if Attorney General is risking prison time to hide from the public? That's why this is inherent contempt resolution is so important. It would authorize the House Sergeant at Arms to arrest Garland, fine him $10,000 per day until he turns over the tapes. Garland's minions are interfering in the 2024 elections in the same way that there were government officials interfering in the 2020 elections. You remember 51 CIA officers working to say, oh, this Hunter Biden laptop, that's not real. It's Russian disinformation. The FBI, oh, it's probably Russian disinformation. That was the government working to interfere in elections. This is the exact same thing. Garland's minions are trying to hide things from the American people by keeping these tapes secret from the American people. I support using every possible tool to make those public. Now, as always, it is an honor to serve you. I hope that you all have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you all around town. I wish you all the best. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.